Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your welcome at a Wolf. Wow. This is your welcome at a Wolf Tent. I am your werewolf. Tonight we're celebrating a very joyous movie made by the man behind Paprika, Perfect Blue, Satoshi Kon. We are talking about Tokyo Godfathers, a very wholesome and very entertaining movie of the ages. One Christmas Eve, after watching a children's performance of the naivety scene, three homeless people, a middle-aged alcoholic man named Jin, a transgender woman named Hana, and a dependent teenage runaway girl named Yuki, discover an abandoned newborn while searching through the garbage for presents. Deposited, deposited with the unnamed baby is a note asking the unknown finder to take good care of her and a key. Into a bag containing clues to the parents' identity. The trio sets out to find the baby's parents, the baby named Kyoko by Hana, based on the Japanese translation of Silent Night, literally means pure child, as she is found on Christmas Eve. I'm with Day, Schooner Tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground, this is Schooner Tuna. And I gotta tell you, Tokyo Godfathers, this is a Christmas movie. I mean, it's a tragic comedy and adventure film, but yeah, like the wolf said, it's that these three homeless people find a baby and embark on a series of misadventures to try to get the baby back to their parent, back to the one who abandoned her. And maybe along the way, and what I think I find most interesting about the film is that each of them has kind of a personal vendetta, not a vendetta, has a personal grievance that they kind of want to address. And the abandoned child is kind of like that outlet for them to finally come to terms with that, the tragedies in their lives. But we'll get to that. Sorry, but this is a great movie and I really enjoyed it.
Here as our usual stand-in for the audience that we're trying to sell and pitch this story to, as always, the lovely lady of our plus side.
Good evening, everyone. This is Leah Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor, and I am looking forward to hearing this review and discussion of this anime movie. As you know, I am a newbie when it comes to anime. I may not have the knowledge that the gentlemen on this panel have, but the story does sound interesting. I have to admit it. So I am here to listen to what they have to say, their reviews of it, and what they think of it, and hopefully I'll be able to catch this myself.
Here with us, as always, for this, as well as our backup, is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in tonight's live stream as we go over a very wholesome Christmas movie filled with drama, comedy, and adventure. That is Tokyo Godfathers. And I gotta say, it still remains one of the best Christmas movies of all times. Next to Home Alone and say what you will, Die Hard. Even though it's centered around Christmas and not explicitly a Christmas movie. But, however, that's beside the point.
So who wants to start?
Well, I guess I will. This was released on August 30th, 2003, which is kind of weird, a Christmas movie coming out in August. Boy, they really missed the mark on that one. And it is directed by Satoshi Kon, the famous director of Paprika and, of course, Perfect Blue, among other things. But this one is slightly different than his other works. This one has more... It's kind of he called it himself. He called it a twisted, sentimental story. So while there is a straightforward plot, Satoshi Kon is mostly known for his, abstract works, like with Paprika and Perfect Blue, where we have characters and their perceptions of reality being either askewed or altered by, either internal or external events. But this one is definitely more of a clean cut type of story where the three characters, the three characters that are Jin, Hana, and Miyuki are kind of more or less people who are wrestling with their inner demons, and are because by the beginning of the movie, which I really love, is that it's Christmas Eve and they're actually watching a children's performance of the nativity scene. Only afterwards do they get only after, and then you realize why they're there watching the nativity scene in the first place, because there was a promise of food for them. And so they're getting the food and they're going back to Miyuki, who is kind of just like this very angsty teenage girl. And they all decide, hey, we found you a Christmas present. And they said, oh, of course, you got to go to the dumpster and look for it. And of course, they find the baby. And Hana, the transgender woman, which, by the way, who is by far the funniest character in this entire movie. Hana is by far the funniest character. Finds the baby, wants to raise the baby as her own, but they all tell her that it's not practical. So she says, all right, we'll go and we'll find the baby's mother, but we're going to demand that she explain why she left her baby abandoned, because I need to know, because I need it for closure. And along the way, you find out that both Jin and even Miyuki are kind of brought face to face with their inner demons on this little odyssey that they go on.
Wow, you mean to tell me there's a transgender character in this story? I thought no, there aren't any out there that are lead characters in stories.
And that's why they hate us. And that's why they hate us, Leia, because we say this is the first transgender character. We have all these other transgender characters done way before this movie. Silence, bigot.
And this is an anime, correct?
This is an anime. Yep. 2003.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's very beautiful animation too, by the way.
It does. Just looking at this still, It looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, the lighting and all that, and I love it too. The very Christmas theme. There's a lot of, despite the fact that they say that they say Merry Christmas, there is a lot of themes of Christmas here as well. Giving, reflecting on the past and embracing really the good and finding strength with one another. And that's what these three characters are, Jin, Hana, and Miyuki, is that they find strength in one another. Despite the fact that they get on each other's nerves, they're a loosely connected family.
Okay, that's positive. But continue.
Yeah, there's positivity here. So anyway, they're going to go. So they have to first figure out, okay, how exactly are we going to go about finding the baby's parents? Well, they first find a key to a locker. They go to the locker and they discover a duffel bag with a whole bunch of ladies' clothes, but also pictures. And inside they find these pictures and they're trying to look for any type of historical landmarks. So they decide to head out to a landmark. They get on a train. Of course, due to severe weather, the train has to stop and go back to the station. And of course, they happen to run into somebody the young girl Miyuki notices. And Miyuki just bolts. She notices somebody on the train. She freaks out and she bolts. Jin and Hana run after her. They make it to a cemetery. And they find, this kills me. They get to a cemetery and they encounter a high-ranking Yakuza boss who's trapped under his car. And because they help him out, the Yakuza boss decides to help them out, to take them to a club owner where the baby's mother actually used to work, because the Yakuza boss actually knows the woman in the picture. So they realize that. So they go to this wedding reception, and the groom at the wedding reception tells the three homeless people that the baby's mother is a former bar girl, and he gives them the address, but the party is interrupted when one of the maids is revealed to be a Latino hitman in disguise and shoots up the wedding.
Oh wow, this is getting exciting.
Yeah. It escalated quite.
It's like, holy crap, that escalated fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that's when that surge turned into action. and
Yep.
as Hitman is going after our three protagonists.
You think the hitman is going after our three protagonists, but no, just
No,
killing the groom who's given the protagonists the address. And it just so happens Miyuki, the teenage girl, is holding the baby and is standing close to the groom when the hitman shoots the groom and then takes Miyuki and the baby hostage. And so they take the hostage at gunpoint, they get into a cab, and they drive to a slum. And, the one young lady is like, oh my God, they're going to kill us, and they're going to kill the baby. Please don't kill the baby, and all that stuff. But it turns out, no, the hitman is just taking her back to his place where his wife is.
Yeah. Now that is how you do subverting expectations the right
Exactly.
way.
Exactly. The Latino guy saw that she had a baby, so it's like, oh my God, I take you back to my place where Miyuki meets the hitman's wife, who happens to have a child of her own, and the two of them begin bonding, despite the fact that the Latino lady is speaking Spanish to her, and Miyuki can't understand her.
Oh, that was the bad part.
It's just so funny.
That
And
that was
while
my favorite part. It's like there's a language barrier, but somehow they understand what each other are saying in some
Mhm.
ways, and of course they have to use body language to illustrate that as well. And that
Yep.
was like this anime movie has a lot of wholesome moments and a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of terms of lot of endearing moments as well. It's so just orgasmically beautifully illustrating how acts of kindness are being shown
Hmm.
during the whole thing. And let's not forget Jin's adventure as well. Like while Miyuki's having her moment, you know, with a wife, we have Jin who meets this homeless man who's dying.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. That's how they all get separated. So Hana and Jin both try to go. I think this scene is hilarious because the hitman uses a cab and the cab drives off. Hana calls the cab company and is able to find the cab driver, and Hana is hitting on the cabbie. She's hitting on the cabbie, telling him that he has a perfect square jaw and that he's
At
got
first,
these
I'm
nice.
like,
And the cabbie's so
I'm
uncomfortable.
saying, at first, I'm sitting here wondering why the man's so uncomfortable, thinking that she's being too overly pushy. Until later on, when they call her queer, I was like, wait a minute, hold up, is she a drag queen this whole time? And I didn't notice that. Yeah, they do a very good job of hiding Hana's nature.
Mm-hmm. You
You
think that
you'll
Hana
be
is just.
forgiven. You'll be forgiven if you never. Yeah, you'll be forgiven to not notice the nature of Hana. At first I thought she was a drag queen, but now things are cleared up. She's actually transgender. But like now it all makes sense at this
Yeah.
point. Like it all makes sense.
Yeah, when I first saw this movie, I thought Hana is a cross dresser as well. Well, until like more context started to come in surrounding Hannah's character, and I actually realized, Hana is not a cross dresser, but actually a transsexual woman. But
Hmm.
but she still looks like a man.
Yeah. And I think what's really so they get separated, and this is where kind of Hana and even
Uh, Before we continue on, let's not also forget that always hits on Jin as well.
oh yeah. Hana and Jin kind of have their own little side adventure here. And Hana occasionally hits on Jin, and Jin is constantly like put off by Hana, like saying, "Will you shut up and leave me alone?"
Yeah, their
Of
dynamic
course,
is
it's the
all
age
very
old
couple vibes.
trope of yeah, it's the age old trope of uh, of the same sex relation. It's always that person hitting on the super straight person.
It's the hitting on the super straight guy just because they enjoy getting a reaction from him.
Hmm.
And
You
that's
know
what
they
happens.
care about them.
Oh, of course they both know they care about him. In fact, even at one point in the film, Miyuki actually says, you love Jin. You love Jin. And of course Hana says, "Of course I love Jin," but not in the way everybody implies.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, this is the part where the three characters are separated and we really get to see their dynamic. Miyuki being separated from Hana and Jin, you realize that she is very much emotionally dependent on the two of them, because you find out that the young lady is actually a runaway. She ran away from home, unlike Hana and Jin, who are homeless sort of by circumstance. Miyuki is voluntarily being where she's at. She can technically leave this life anytime she wants to, but she can't go home because she's ashamed. Now, what I really find both what I love, but also at the same time frustrating, is that we never really know why she's running away. We just know that she did something bad. She keeps, in her mind's eye, she says, I did something very bad. And she can't go home. So, like we said, they got separated. Hana is looking for her with the cabbie, and the cabbie says, yes, I remember dropping off a Latino man in this area here. Jin, of course, being the drunk that he is. So when he's at the wedding talking to the groomsmen while they're getting the address, Jin is just like downing all of this alcohol at the wedding. And it's both funny and sad, because Hana goes off, leaving Jin behind, and Jin, of course, meets another homeless man, and this other homeless man is begging Jin for a drink, and Jin says, you know what, fine, here, take a drink. And the homeless man is an older gentleman, and he's dying, and he says, please, don't let me die here, take me back to my home. And he says, all right, where's your home? And it's this makeshift shack with all of this, like, garbage in it, or as the homeless man says, his little trinkets. And he sets him in there, and then he says to Jin, as he's lying there dying, he tells him, here, these are he gives him a sack full of precious treasures, although Jin never looks inside, and he says, fine, I'll take it. And then Jin gets the crap kicked out of him by a bunch of hoodlum kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they kick the crap out of him. Hana is able to find Miyuki and the sweet little baby, and
Let's
Miyuki.
touch on that a bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are certain animes that depict ruffians that hurt homeless folk. And I'm wondering, is there people out there like that in Japan that actually go out of their way to hurt the homeless like that? Because I know we get a lot of that in Gantz.
Yep. We get a lot of it in Gantz. We also see it in Inuyashiki.
Oh yeah, Inuyashiki as well. Let's not forget Inuyashiki.
And
oh goodness,
it's pretty much prevalent in a lot of animes and mangas too. It's kind of almost become what is it, like not a stereotype, a kind of a trope in Japan. But yeah, so these hoodlum kids beat the crap out of Jin. Jin does he end up in the hospital? He goes to the hospital. Yeah. He ends up in the hospital, and Hana and Miyuki find him, and he's feeling he's feeling better, so they have to dismiss him from the hospital, obviously. And what else? What happened
to his daughter?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He runs into his daughter. That's what I found funny. But hang on.
He's got his notes.
Yep, I'm grabbing my notes, and I'm just trying to fast forward. I have the movie playing right here. I'm trying to fast forward what happens next.
He has his notes. He's checking them twice. Schooner's got anime on tap.
On tap. Oh, that's right. Okay, no, he didn't go. No, Jin didn't get. Okay, so Jin didn't go to the hospital. What happened is that he was lying there. He thought he was going to die in the gutter, because in the story, when they found the baby, Jin shares his backstory about how he had a daughter and how he had a wife and how both of them died, and began his descent towards being a homeless person. So as he's lying there dying on the streets from his injuries, suddenly a magical fairy shows up and says, do you want me to grant you a wish, or do you want me to heal you? And Jin just says, "Heal me," and the fairy just says, "How rude." And it turns out that this fairy is actually
Is
a
a
drag,
hooker.
is a hooker. Exactly, is a hooker. Not only that, they know Hana.
There's a lot
So
of
they take
things that coincide with the characters,
a
and
lot.
it's crazy how they keep that going, keep that momentum going. As we were discussing in the echo,
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the
all
thing.
these plot threads and these character threads, it was beginning to feel more like a Quentin Tarantino movie at this point.
Exactly. You thought seemingly random plot threads, then they paid off in later scenes. Because it turns out that Jin is rescued not only by a hooker, but a bunch of hookers who know Hana. And and Hana happens to run into them, and it turns out that she was part of this. I guess what kind of would you say it was a gay bar?
No,
No, just a club.
More like a
So,
nightclub?
yeah, it's a nightclub than anything else.
Yeah, so you find out that Hana was in a nightclub and she used to sing at the nightclub. I love the flashback too. The flashback is there was this one belligerent person who was yelling at her while she was singing, and she paid it little mind. She paid it little mind, even though the guy was calling her, what was it? He says, "You're a freak who dresses up like a woman," and all that kind of stuff, and being very rude and belligerent. But it isn't until he insults her dress that Hana stops singing, turns and looks at the guy, and then just goes and beats the crap out of him.
drew the line the moment he insults the dress.
Right there, right when he insults the dress.
I think it's fair game, but if you talk shit about Hana's dress, you get the glass.
Yep. And you
You get
find
the
out
bottle.
exactly. So Miyuki and Hana run into her old gang, and they're like saying, "Oh my gosh, Hana, what happened to you? Why are you living on the streets? Why didn't you come back? What happened to your husband?" And that was a bombshell right there. Oh my God, Hana was married. And you find out that Hana was married to this guy, and they were very much in love. And it turns out that the guy died because he slipped in the shower. And I'm just like, damn, tough break, Hana. Tough break.
She was quite happy.
She was quite happy, and then he died, and the people at the nightclub are asking, well, why didn't you come back? We would have loved to have had you back. We would have looked out for you. And she just said she felt ashamed. I don't know why. But
It was more of the fact that she didn't want to come back, as a disgrace.
Oh,
She,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want.
She didn't want them to completely worry. She wanted them. She pretty much get off the air that she was independent, and she wanted to, let them, keep them
She
from
wanted
worrying
them all to
about
live
her.
in the dream that she had found happiness.
Yeah,
She wanted them,
keep the lie going.
to keep the lie going. And you find out that thing about Hana and even eventually Jin too, that they kind of didn't want to face the reality of their situations, because you later find out in the movie, turns out Jin's wife and daughter are not dead. He just made that. He made that up. And it turns out that he was a cyclist. He tried to fix a race. He got caught, and he spiraled into a self-destructive pattern. And it got to the point where his wife left him with their child. And he felt deeply ashamed by that. And in fact, he actually said that he was saving up money so that he could give the money to his daughter as some form of penance. And I love the bit where Hana's like going, "Excuse me, hang on. We've been getting by on scraps this entire time, and you have a stash of money the whole time?" And he says, "It's for my
Nice
daughter."
impression, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Hana's spewing some facts here, but at the same time, you're on Jin's side as to why he kept it secret. So anyway, where were we? Okay, so they reunite. They go on their way, and I'm trying to remember what happened. Let's see. Happened afterwards.
They were able to find they were able to find Sachiko's house, the baby's mom.
Yep.
However, by the time they get there, they discover that it has been torn down.
Yep. And the house had been torn down, and they were just like going unbelievable. So they don't know. So now they're back to square one. So they go to a store and they rest a little while until they're told to leave by the clerk. Oh, there's something I need to say this too. I can't believe I forgot this, and it's very important. There's a big theme in this movie about faith and how faith and destiny. And Hana is telling both Jin and Miyuki that they were destined to find this baby and that some invisible force is pushing them to go and find, because the strange little misadventures and the coincidences that are happening to them along the way. Hana is saying that there is something divine happening here, is that we are walking in the footsteps of God's plan. Jin and Miyuki, of course, dismiss this outright entirely. And while they're resting in the store and they're told by the clerk that they have to leave, the clerk is actually pushing them out of the store. And Hana is saying stuff like, "No, wait, please, we're on a mission from the Lord. We have to deliver this
By
baby."
no means are
Mhm.
Miyuki and Jin are not religious.
No,
Don't get that twisted. By no means, they just don't
no,
believe that their lot in life is really is real. They're not. They don't feel. It's more of they haven't lost their faith. It's more of they don't believe that God is watching out for them. They're
yeah,
watching out for those who deserves God's blessing. They
yeah,
they they're more the kind of they feel like they don't deserve God's
yeah.
holiness.
Exactly. And while the store clerk is pushing him out, Hana once again is talking about, faith and how this is part of God's plan. And Jin is like saying, "Hana, drop it. There is nobody up above watching out for us." And just as they're all exiting the store, a van crashes right through it. And had they stayed in that
There's a lot
store,
of car near head on collisions, car crashes in this movie. Jesus Christ, do people not know how to watch the road?
I know.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking when I first saw this
After
movie.
the freaking like fourth car crash, I'm like, do these people not know how to drive? I mean, look, I get it. It is snowing out there and everything.
Or they come
Mhm.
out
But
too intoxicated, and for some reason, someone allowed them to drive.
I know. And that was the thing that killed me, is that and it was an ambulance that crashed through the car. I mean, crashed through the store. So so had they stayed inside the store, had the store clerk let them stay, everybody, including the store clerk, would have died. And Hana is like going, "You see, Jin, miracle."
no, it's funny. Even the driver comes out. He says, "Call an ambulance."
He's the driver of an ambulance. He gets out and he says, "Hi, can somebody here call an ambulance?" Oh my gosh, that scene kills me. And and just as that happens, oh, this really tugged at my heartstrings. As he says, "Could somebody call an ambulance?" Suddenly Hana begins convulsing and coughing up blood, and they have to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
I remember that.
earlier there was a scene where she was looking for Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
She leans on a pipe and she rubs blood.
She coughs violently and then walks away, only to later discover that she had coughed up blood.
Yeah, on her hand, and and it was dripping on the ground as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was the cause for that? Because I don't think I ever caught that.
Well, apparently they said that it was. Hang on. They never said. Unbelievable. They just said that.
Of course.
The doctor. I love this doctor at the same time. I love the doctor of this scene too, because this doctor is very straight by the facts, and he is unapologetically emotionless. He just basically says, "Okay, your friend Hana here needs some nutrients. Keep her some nutrients, and I'll give her some nutrients, and she should
William
be fine."
says Dominic's mic is low.
Oh. Uh-oh. Dominic, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can still hear you guys.
Oh, okay, good.
I can hear him. It's the chat.
Silva is having a hard time hearing Dominic.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay.
I think what kills me most out of all this, though, is that the doctor says that treatment is simple. Give her some nutrients and she should be fine. Whereas Jin says to the doctor, okay, in case you hadn't noticed, we're pretty homeless. We don't have access to a whole lot of the, I don't know, necessary medications in order to properly watch Hana's health. So what do you expect us to do? The doctor, kind of, he's not being cold. He just states the facts. He says, look, I'm not a, what did he say? Crap. He says something to the effects of, look, I'm not your healthcare provider or something like that. I'm just telling you how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you how it is, and that's how you got to do it. So, of course, Hana's hospital bill, Jin has to use his money to pay Hana's hospital bill. And Hana, of course, is crying and sobbing, saying, I'm so sorry, Jin. I'm making you spend all that money that you were saving for your daughter. Please forgive me. And Jin is saying, Hana, shut up. And of course, he happens to walk. And I love this because it turns out that the hospital that they're in is the place where Jin's daughter is a nurse. So Jin finally reconnects with his daughter. And they have actually a pretty pleasant conversation, although Jin is the one who is super awkward about it. His daughter's actually pretty fine, but with seeing him. She asks him very basic questions. How are you? Is everything all right? How are things going with you? And Jin's the one saying, I should be the one asking you that. His daughter tells him that she's fine. In fact, she's getting married. And it turns out she's getting married.
Son-in-law.
Yep. Exactly. Jin's gonna have a son-in-law. And guess who her fiance is? It's the doctor who was very cold to Jin. I love that bit. What else happened? So, what was it? Hana berates Jin in front of his daughter and basically storms out of the hospital with Miyuki following behind her with the baby Kyoko in their hand. Hana and Miyuki are now still looking for Kyoko's mother. And what's funny is they're talking about how they need to find the baby's mother, and they're saying because she's probably, I need her to explain why she abandoned her baby, and maybe she's feeling completely guilty. In fact, I bet she's feeling so guilty that she's probably going to walk onto a bridge and jump right off of it. And it just so happens they're passing by a woman who's about to jump off a bridge. Again, what are the chances? Again, what were the chances?
Right.
And I think it kills me. She'd probably just walk right off on a bridge. And they happen to pass by a woman who's about to go off the bridge. And they're still monologuing, only to stop and turn around and run to the woman wait, don't do
it! They save her. Of course they save her.
Of course they save her.
I mean, that's just being a good Samaritan.
It definitely is, but the way how they go about it, it's almost the way how their movement are is almost like a Ghibli film moment.
Yep. Because they're walking and they're talking about, they're walking and they're talking and they pass by the woman who's about to jump off the bridge. And while they're still talking, they both do an about face and walk back, continuing their casual conversation. And then they start running and grabbing the woman and say, get back up here.
And of course, the said lady happens to be the baby's mother. More on that later.
The baby's mother. They say, why did you abandon the baby? And she said that her husband...
Hang on.
Yeah.
Gunnar.
Okay.
Hang on. More on that later. Put a pin on that. And I'm using... I say mother in air quotes, by the way. For those who haven't noticed, I said mother in air quotes. Put a pin on that later, but continue, Schooner.
Okay, so mother and air quotes. So they get to her. They first off, I love Hana once again. She smacks the lady in the face and saying, "What were you thinking?" And she says, I went to go back to find my baby and I couldn't
The
find her.
lady was supposed to explain.
Yeah. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
she was explaining why she did what she did, and Hannah was having none of that, so she slapped some sense to that lady.
Yeah. The lady basically says that her, was it her husband who didn't want the baby, said get rid of it? Or what happened? No. Oh, throughout the movie, they learned that she was a bartender. She racked up a debt and all this kind of stuff because of her, basically her toxic husband.
And
And
her husband was also racking up gambling debts as well.
Racking up gambling debts. These two really were just not fit to be parents. And she says that her husband took the baby and put it in the dumpster. She went to go look for it, couldn't find it, and she felt so guilty that she was going to jump off the bridge. Hana and Miyuki both basically say, all right, it's time for you to shape up. You got to be a better person now, because now it's no longer about you or your husband. It's about the little baby right now. And the woman is saying, yes, of course. Thank you so much, both of you. I owe you so much. And they just basically say, you want to pay us back, just be a good mom. And she says, oh, I will. Thank you so much. And she's holding the baby close to her and she walks off. And Miyuki and Hana are walking away completely satisfied. Meanwhile, Jin is in the hospital, having was done speaking to his daughter. And he says, all right, I got to go find the two most important people in my life right now, his two friends, Hana and Miyuki. And of course, there's a news report on, and the news report says, have you seen this child? And he's like going, wait, what now? And it says that the child was actually kidnapped from a hospital by this one woman who they were looking for. And Jin is like going, oh, shit. So he immediately bolts after Hana and looking for Hana and Miyuki.
Confiscates his dude's bike.
Oh, yeah. This is the funny part.
Like he's our Dorothy from freaking Big O.
Oh, yeah.
So fast, so much stamina, to the point when he finally meets up with the two, he can barely even talk.
And
he's like going, Jin, what is...
Red face, sweaty, and everything.
Yeah, and he's breathing in and out, and they're saying, what is it? And he starts doing charades, and honestly going, oh, I love charades. Okay, woman. And he goes, okay. And he starts rolling his hands like rocking a child. Baby rocking. Uh-huh. And they're like saying, oh, you mean her mother? Yeah, we found the little baby's mother. It's all good. You don't have to worry about it.
He shook his head.
He shook his head, and I think what I love about the scene, he's shaking his head, and he's just pounding Hana's chest so hard because it's like, that's not what I'm saying. You are not hearing me. And he's like saying, ow, why are you hitting me? And then he finally breathes and says, not the baby's mom. Not baby's mom. And they're like, oh, crap. And they all go running after her. And it turns out, yeah, the lady had actually kidnapped the baby from a hospital because was it that her baby died, or that she couldn't have a child of her own?
Oh no. So
I think it's the latter. But explain, Dom.
She and her husband did have a kid. However, after their baby was born, it unfortunately died.
Oh, geez. And she has postpartum depression.
Yeah. And
yeah.
And she kidnapped baby Kyoko from the hospital, believing that she is the baby that was supposed to be her and her husband's, but it died in stillbirth.
Yeah. And she realized
that shit.
Yeah, no shit. That was the moment in the story where I was like, holy shit, it got real. Mm-hmm. I mean, you thought the shootout was, wow, that escalated quickly. That's the moment when, okay, this is probably as real as it gets.
Satoshi Kon, everybody.
Mm-hmm. This is about as real as it gets.
He's that hardcore. He is that hardcore with that shit.
And he's that hardcore, but I think what I love, though, is more of the implied... what's more implied than really actually showing the disturbing nature. I mean, you watch Perfect Blue, what's implied? Holy crap, that's scary.
Mhm. We'll get into that story
Yeah.
sometime later. That
Uh,
and Paprika.
oh
But
yeah.
yeah, they go after the mother's trying to
To
trying
nurse
to
the
keep
baby.
keep the baby quiet, and you, my goodness, you're
The
mad
baby's.
at her, but at the same
Yeah.
time you're feeling very sorry for her too. You see, her eyes are glazed.
Mm-hmm.
She's she I mean she's able to hold it in at least a little bit longer, but she's seconds from
Crack.
cracking, which
And
eventually she does.
you realize that yes, you can feel sorry for her, but right then at that moment, even my look, I feel for you, but at the same time, it's like get the child away from her now.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a person who should have a child. This is a deeply disturbed individual.
Especially one who was going through postmortem depression, like after the death of her kid.
Yeah, that'll screw anybody up. So yeah, they find her and they say drop the baby, and what does she do? She starts running. And they start chasing after her. And what we get is perhaps both a
The
hilarious
biggest cat and mouse chase in the history of anime. One of
yeah.
the biggest cat and mouse chase in the history of anime.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, this whole movie does some realistic stuff, yes, but it goes into some straight up cartoonish shit, and it's amazing for it.
That's what I love about Satoshi Kon is that it starts first. It has this very like, yes, it's a cartoon. Then it gets real. Then it goes back to being a cartoon, and then it goes back to being real. It's like the emotional roller coaster is amazing, and he is able to find this perfect balance between all of it, and it's amazing. And
The
rest
bitch
in
steals a truck.
Yep, the woman steals a truck and drives off, and Jin, being the cyclist madman that he is, goes after her in a bike.
I'm like,
And
he's able to catch up to her on a bike.
yep, and I
And
think
and lo and behold, hang on, Spooner, sorry.
yeah, no, it's
Lo
okay.
and
Go ahead.
behold, how Hana and Miyuki backs him up. Lo and behold, they run into the same cab driver that assisted Hana earlier.
Yep, and Hana just and then they get in the car and they say follow that truck. I don't think it's legal. Drive.
And he just drives.
And
He's at the mercy of women.
and he's
Unfortunate
driving.
guy.
And what kills me is that Hana is saying, faster, faster, pedal to the metal, go now, go now. And he just starts accelerating so fast. I'm going to save you. Okay, I'm going to save you all the intensity, but anybody who's listening, yeah, both the truck and the car crash again. We have another. This is probably our fifth or sixth car crash in this movie. So,
oh boy, man.
Jin is
It's
able to make
amazing.
it. It's amazing. Jin is able to get on the truck before he's rammed off the road, which is scary. But he's able to get on the truck, and then the truck crashes into an office building, and so does the cab driver. But this is what kills me. The truck crashes, Jin falls, obviously. The lady gets out of the car and runs into the elevator. Hana, Miyuki, and the cab driver crash into the office building and drive up the stairs in the cab.
Oh yeah, it did happen, people.
We're not joking. This is too stupid to make up.
This is like it's exactly what I want in a movie. Give me a far-fetched theatrical plot, okay? Give me this hilarious car chase scene, but at the same time really put some emotional stakes into this. Am I supposed to be laughing, or am I supposed to be saying like, please get to the kid? Oh my god, please don't let anything bad happen to the kid. You go from laughing to worry in so many different instances.
That kid is made of iron.
Yep. So what's funny is that here's the funny thing. She gets in the elevator and goes up the stairs. The cab driver crashes, gets out of the car, because Hana and Miyuki had already bailed on the taxi driver to go and check on Jin, because Jin had when the truck crashed into the building, he fell. So the cab driver is driving. They say, "Stay on the lady. We got to go. Stay on the lady. We got to go help our friend." The cab driver obliges, and of course he crashes. And they come. Jin is able to get up because he's okay. They run to the cab driver and they say, "Where did she go?" The cab driver points to the elevator. They see she got
That
up on
dude
the
was
top.
just dejected. He's like, you know what? If the boss say I'm fired, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. You know what? I've had a crazy, and all of this is happening. Was the night before Christmas, and it's like, you know what? If I'm gonna get fired on Christmas, I don't care, because you know what? I've had enough for this evening. I've had a crazy evening.
I'm done for the night.
I'm done.
Just keep in mind, people, all of this occurred in one day in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, one day in the evening. So they run to the top floor. Obviously Miyuki is the youngest, and she's the youngest and she's got youth on her side, whereas Jin and Hana are much older. And Jin, God love him, he's been cycling the entire way through. He's got a beer gut, so of course he's hanging back. Hana, on the other hand, I love the fact I love Hana so much, because throughout this entire movie, whenever we see Hana run, she's wearing like this skirt, so her legs are like flying around from side to side, almost like a duck when she's running. So of course she can't make it up the stairs fast. So Miyuki's the only one who's running up the stairs, is able to get to the rooftop, and
removing clothes as she's doing it.
Removing clothes as exactly. Removing her scarf, removing her hat, her jacket, and she makes it all the way to the top. And the lady standing at the edge of the rooftop, holding the baby, and she's gonna jump. And Miyuki is like saying, "Don't jump. Don't do this again. Don't do this again." And it's really sad, because she is basically telling Miyuki that she always wanted her child. She says she just wanted a baby, and she just didn't want to lose another one, and I didn't want this one taken from me. But Miyuki, is able to talk her down. But of course, what's hilarious, not hilarious, haha, it's that she decides to hand the baby to Miyuki before trying to jump off herself. But of course, Miyuki catches the baby and grabs, what was her name again? Sachiko?
Sachiko, yeah.
Sachiko. Grabs the baby and Sachiko, but Sachiko accidentally drops the baby. Hana jumps off the building after the baby, catches it, and lands safely. And this is the part where I love it to bits too.
Physics took a hold and saved their ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is falling, she catches the baby, and then reaches out and grabs a banner. But the banner breaks, and they start, going down further. Then suddenly a massive gust of wind makes the banner that she's holding onto almost like a parachute. And she is able to float down safely. And Hana once again yells, "It's God! God saved me and the baby! This truly is a Christmas miracle!" And so it cuts to the three of them in the hospital, and Hana is of course saying that this was all God's plan. I feel like a better person now. It's going to be straight on the up and up for all of us. And Jin is like going, "Hana, for God's sakes, will you please give it a rest?" Because he's on the hospital bed right next to her. And he says, and Miyuki is there too. And what's funny is that all of their personal effects are in the closet.
Wait.
Yep.
Wait. We also during that moment you got the real parents of the baby showing up as well.
Oh yeah.
The husband took to the woman who stole the baby, comes in and talks some sense to her, or at least like tries to get her to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
because earlier
Oh yeah,
earlier
that's
in
right.
the movie,
Sachiko's
J-
deadbeat husband does show up and tries to talk her down from jumping. Because here's the thing: when they crashed into the office building, a massive crowd had gathered from that, and so did emergency responders. So of course, when Miyuki, Sachiko, and the baby are on the roof, it's getting broadcast to all the news stations. And Sachiko's husband sees it on the news, and he runs all the way down there to try to talk to his wife. Sorry, Wolf, go ahead.
I mean, you summed it up pretty well. Keep going.
And he's telling her that, they don't have to be this way. They can make it work, the two of them, and all that kind of stuff. And the whole incident occurs.
Last night, me and my woman,
Oh, God.
we cried together. Said we cried, we cried together. And then we made love like we never done before. Now we're gonna have another baby. Don't you love in the holidays? We always cry together. Okay, I'm done.
So I think what I love the most, though, is that they're back at the hospital. Their personal effects are in the closet, and it turns out that the little sack that the old man had given Jin was actually full of money. So it turns out that they're going to be fine. They are going to be fine. The future is looking pretty set. The baby is returned to her parents, and the parents are so happy. And in fact, they tell the officer who's there that they want to go meet the three homeless people who saved their little baby and name them the baby's godparents. And the cop is like, yeah, go ahead. What'd you say?
I said roll credits. That's the reason why it's called Tokyo Godfathers.
Precisely. Basically, they say, yeah, we want them to be the baby's godfather. And the cop that's there and says, all right, fine, I'll take you there. And you can tell them yourselves, all that kind of stuff. Plus, I need to ask them a few questions, some standard questions. He opens the door to the three homeless people. And of course, Miyuki's eyes widen, and you realize that the cop is actually the young lady's father.
And roll credits.
And I'm just like, oh, are you kidding me?
That's it. That's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. I'm like, why? Anime is notorious for doing stuff like this. Why?
I would not have it any other way.
I think, though, what was your guys' favorite part about the movie?
One of them is Miyuki bonding with the hitman's wife.
Yeah,
in spite of the
That's
language
definitely
barrier,
mine.
They were able to understand each other. Although what I noticed since you're giving the summary, Schooner, is Miyuki, like, for a while, and especially as the audience, she confesses that she fled her home due to stabbing her over controlling father Shida, when her beloved cat Angel went missing, believing that he had gotten rid of it. However, because of that reveal Shida is actually alive, and not really limping from this so-called stabbing, and it calls into question, like, what actually happened that led Miyuki to, like, flee her home and becoming homeless by choice.
Oh yeah, I agree, because you think that's what happened in the past, but it turns out that was just a dream Miyuki had. So you got to wonder, in the dream, is that reality, or is that just the guilt that she had? Like, it's basically, was it metaphorically saying, I've wounded my father in what she's done. I have wounded my father. Yeah.
In the sequence, she's fat, whereas in reality she's skinny as well.
Yeah. And I noticed that that's kind of somewhat of a visual trope in most Japanese animation, although I could be wrong, that overweight people is a sign of actual, like, they're prosperous individuals. I could be reading too much into that, though. That she had come from a life of privilege, and then she had, due to a misunderstanding, had wounded her father, and now she feels so guilty she doesn't think she can go home again. At least that's what my take was. What do you guys think?
I think she ran away from home
Yeah.
once she had nothing to look after personally. Once the kid happened, so that that's my take on it. I think she ran away because there was a disagreement between her and her dad,
Mm-hmm.
and
which we could like safely assume like, it involves the cat Angel
Mm-hmm.
that she brought into the house and and still like, we don't know like what happened. We do know that in the center of the disagreement involved Angel, and because of what happened, it caused Miyuki to feel guilty and run away from home.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think one of my favorite parts of the whole movie was Jin and his daughter. The scene where he was really trying to reconnect with his daughter. But, the movie itself, I just really enjoy it, and its themes are really good. Is that the virtues of loyalty?
hey.
Hello.
You sound like a damn like a damn what you call it, overview. Like you about to
Okay.
wrap this shit up.
No, I'm just saying that I enjoy the themes of the movie the most, that I really appreciate it. The bonds of friendship and the virtues of, and the virtues of unconditional love, whether it be friendship, family, or, finding. I mean, here you have these. I think what I also loved is the fact that three homeless people, you don't really see these types as protagonists in a movie.
No, you don't.
It's a rarity.
It's very much a rarity. And to not only make us empathize with these characters, that you can do it without having to overly explain their backstories. It's like you're getting really a night in the life of these characters whose lives, but it's like it's not even a day in the life of these characters. It's that their lives, even at their standing in life as homeless people, are changed now because of finding the baby. So now suddenly the three of them find purpose.
That baby's adorable.
That baby is adorable.
I agree. Not to mention, because of the me and Kyoko, like, each of our heroes are able to confront their own personal demons.
Mm-hmm.
Jin most especially, because like he felt guilty of his past actions, that he felt that his daughter would hate him after his wife left him and taking his daughter, who's also named Kyoko, with her. However, again, another good example of subverting expectations. It shows that Kyoko doesn't have any ill will towards Jin.
Yeah. And his daughter has no ill will towards him. It's that the guilt that he was feeling. And she doesn't even blame him for a lot. She doesn't even ask anything of him. In fact, she would love, I think, which is really great, is that she actually tells him, "I'd love to have you back in my life."
And this is that is where anybody can relate with that circumstance. Even if you don't have that experience, you still you still empathize with the characters.
Well, precisely. And the character of even Hana, who is by far one of the funniest characters in this movie. You can even connect with her and her struggles through life. Yeah, maybe I don't know what it's like living in Hana's life, but I can understand why she feels the way she does, especially when she finds the baby and she's like going, this could be my only chance of actually. I love the beginning of the movie. She wants to keep the baby. And it's like, this baby is my only chance of actually having a child of my own. In fact, what's even hilarious is that in the beginning of the movie, when they're watching the nativity, Hana is watching the birth of Jesus Christ with just such enamored eyes and says that, she wants to have a baby of her own. And Jin says, you can't have a baby. And Hana says, well, if Mary can have a baby, so can I. And one of the
I
people
once
who were
thought that made that she was sterile.
And the thing that made me laugh is that when the lady is giving, all of the homeless people food after watching the nativity, she says, I'm going to have a baby of my own one of these days. And the lady behind is like rolling her eyes. And then later in the movie, that same lady who was giving food to the homeless sees Hana with a baby in her arms and says, oh my God, it happened. It's true.
Yeah, Satoshi Kon is most certainly like the Quentin Tarantino of Japan. May rest in peace.
Oh
No,
yeah.
not only like in his movies, like does he like incorporate surrealism in like in storytelling, but also he is a very he's a great character writer, much like Tarantino.
And he gives you just enough of the character that you have an idea of where they're coming from, but leaves so much mystery about them that you're still fascinated by them. You get just enough to know, okay, this is where this character fits in on that story, and then he pulls the rug right out from under you to realize, oh, it turns out the character serves a different purpose.
Which all of which is a masterclass of show don't tell.
Uh-huh. And of course, and it can only work in the media. This movie can only work really in the medium of animation.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate to see this in live action.
Oh, it'd suck. It would suck completely. They would never know. And for a fact, this is another thing. This is probably what I also love about Satoshi Kon is that he challenges the audience, and it shows that his movies are really shooting for the stars, where most Western animated films are just playing in the kiddie sandbox.
No, they're not. They're most. Sometimes when that happens, it shows like they're very risk averse. First, because I was like when they see animation, they see it only applies to kids. However, that's a very not only narrow minded but an overgeneralization because animation appeals to people across the ages from the youngest to the oldest.
Well,
And
and that's one of the things that I found interesting about anime in general is that it's not and manga. It's a very it's not it's literally got a genre for everything. You got your kid action adventure, and then you got your teenagers, and then you got your adult. And I'm not anybody who's sent, and this is probably why I always say, Leia, you're new to this, so always use caution when treading into anime and manga, because the some of the stuff can get pretty dark and even downright disturbing. That's why it's a very slippery slope. You got to be careful because first off, you don't want your first intro into manga to be a Junji Ito story.
Especially if you're not a fan of horror.
Especially if you're not a fan of horror and deeply psychological horror. This is why I always recommend, probably if you're just getting into it, like what Wolf is saying, get into more like shonen anime or even something like that.
Or even Astro Boy,
or even Astro,
from the Godfather of manga himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I take you guys' advice on it. I find that myself with anime, I know you guys have a passion for it, but there are some that connect with me, and there's some that just aren't personally my taste.
Yeah.
But that's
Well,
probably the reason as why you just explained it.
You
yeah, it's
better
like
gear up because we're watching Perfect Blue sometime soon.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
So
now that's
per-
gonna be fun.
that's going to be fun. But Leia, just warning you ahead of time. Perfect Blue is a psychological thriller, and it does have some disturbing imagery.
Black Swan before Black Swan.
It was black. Oh yeah. In fact, what's hilarious is that Darren Aronofsky actually purchased the rights of Perfect Blue just so in his movie Requiem for a Dream he could have Jennifer Connelly screaming underwater. Because that's exactly what the girl did in Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is a good movie. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. It's basically an actress who's
Pop idol turned actress.
okay, pop idol turned actress, and her perception of reality is kind of fallen by the wayside, especially when she realizes she has a stalker.
Uh-huh.
And that's all we gonna say.
Yep, and that's all we're gonna say. But like I said, I mean, Wolf summed it up perfectly. It was Black Swan before Black Swan. Have you ever seen Black Swan?
Yes, I have.
Or even The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
No, we ain't. No, we're not doing that.
Yes, and I especially love the part in Perfect Blue when the stalker comes out and sings, "And I will always love you." Because that's what happened in Perfect Blue. He comes out on stage and sings to the actress, "And I will always."
Which movie?
Perfect Blue. I'm lying, obviously, Wolf. Come on.
I was gonna say
we'll get into it. And Leia, you gotta watch it because you're gonna need to be able to follow really well when we're talking about it next time. I'm about to give you a lot of time for you to get to know that movie.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And keep
I say soon, but not too. I said soon, but not too soon. We're not gonna tackle it just yet.
I think we should definitely ease her in. I think Paprika is a really good one. In fact, what was it? A lot of people are saying that Inception was actually a blatant ripoff of Paprika. But if you watch the two movies again, I watched both movies back to back, and I'm like, what am I missing here? Because these are two very different movies. There are
no like direct correlations like between Paprika and Inception.
No, I mean, in fact, the only thing these two movies really have in common is that they both take place in dreams.
Oh, now y'all motherfuckers want to roll in. Now that we're done talking about the damn movie, I see 5 of you. Identify yourselves, programs.
One more thing.
There was 3 to 4 of you. Now it's 5. Now y'all start rolling in. What y'all doing? Y'all doing y'all Christmas preparations? That's good. That's really good.
Don't attack the fans. Good God.
Well, Rising Man said he was caught late at work.
No, I forgive Riser Man. I mean, we all have had that boss who comes in when you're about to leave, and then he says, "Oh, hey, I'm dumping all of this workload on you because I'm an a-hole."
Yes.
Best boss ever.
Yes.
Pretty soon we'll be tackling Paprika, Perfect Blue, and a thought crossed my mind. We'll tackle an anime that I'm very well aware of. I have yet to watch myself. Birdie the Mighty.
Oh my God!
Anime that apparently inspired Zack Snyder to do what he did in Man of Steel. Apparently.
No way.
I don't know.
No
okay,
way.
First off, I've actually seen Birdie the Mighty, and I'm just saying, Zach, what drugs are you on? Because you got to be on the right amount of drugs to be watching Birdie the Mighty and thinking, yes, this would be the ultimate Superman movie.
I have to agree.
Birdie the Mighty
I'll
is a
have whatever
completely
I'll have
different
whatever
beast.
I'll have whatever he's smoking.
Keep in mind, Leah. Since we are easing you into manga and anime, that the storytelling structure like in the East is different from how storytelling is handled over here in the West. Whereas whereas here whereas here like where it's mostly operated in the 3 act structure. Over in the East they operate in Eastern storytelling, Kishoten Ketsu, which is in other words a 4 act structure.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, it'd be interesting to look at other ways of storytelling. I'm not against that. I would get ease into it, but I'm not against that. Especially these titles and these plots that you're telling me about. My goodness.
Quick
It's always
announcement.
interesting.
Quick announcement. I have
Okay.
left you guys a community tag in my channel. If you go to community, I have asked you guys a question. Anybody who's listening, I have asked you guys a question. Should I restart manga studies? Suggest a manga that we should talk about. We'll also be restructuring how we do manga studies as well next year if I decide to get back into it. So we're gonna brainstorm a little bit on that front. But guys, please, not in the chat right now, but please go to that community and throw your suggestions in. Already saying like suggested Dragon Ball. No, was it? Hang on. Somebody suggested Dragon Ball. I was like, oh no, we are not doing that. That's too long. Like that would take 2 months, maybe even 3 months to even read through one arc
Oh
and
yeah.
talk about it extensively. Goodness gracious! Like suggest Berserk. Berserk is easy. We do one arc. One arc. That's it. Hey, Schooner.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You beat me in the pool.
What?
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yep,
Wait,
you
what?
beat me in the pool. Everyone's favorite OG UN Space Team member is Schooner Tuna.
Well, I had a good mentor, the Wolf.
Yep, he beat me at 44%
Wow.
out of
Congratulations,
9 votes.
Julie.
Well, I'm
Oh.
humbled. I'm just humbled that you guys. Oh, thank you. You like me. You really like me.
Yeah,
So
he's
that
gonna have to
means
take my job now.
Nah, no. Are you kidding me? I probably would take us all to, I don't know, probably crash all of us on a
Oh,
planet.
the guy of Kaon suggested Dragon Ball. Let me restart. Matthew suggested Dragon Ball. Samuel suggested Hell's Paradise. Cesario JPN suggested Silent Mobius.
Ooh,
We'll
Silent
put that on the
Mobius.
list.
Hell's Paradise.
that
I
on
don't
the
think
list.
I've heard of that.
So, guys, go in the community tab if you made it this far. Go in the community tab and please send out your suggestions. Because I would like to do that again. We didn't really get a chance to pick up steam enough like we did with the anime spotlights. But since the anime spotlights are actually catching some steam, maybe it is high time for us to revisit manga studies.
I've been dying to see it come back.
You know what? Before we tackle any of the suggestions, how about this? How about this? For next year, can't really say which month for our manga study. We'll tackle each volume. Ooh, you know what? Let's do this a whole yearly thing. I got it. For every month of the year, we'll tackle all the volumes of Akira.
Oh, that will be pretty awesome. Because the manga is very different than the anime.
Yeah, yeah, because when the
Oh
movie
yeah.
was made, like they had to
First
check
things
out
first.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying, when the movie was made, like a lot of plots and characters like had to be taken out in order for the movie to be condensed. And and to this day, it surprised me that Akira has yet to receive a full anime series because as the series is finished.
Completed. Yeah. So we'll tackle the movie. Well, actually, you know what? I was thinking about tackling the movie, but damn it, I can't find the better dubbed version.
Mm, Look, start with tackling each volume of Akira first, and then the movie. That way
I'm the leader. Damn it.
look that will hear me out. As we
I'm here.
tackle
I'm
each
listening.
volume tackle each volume of Akira, it'll give you enough time to find a better English dub for Akira.
Mostly the one that has Tai Kamiya from Digimon and Ichigo fighting each other. That's the one I'm looking for. Anytime I try to look for it on YouTube, it's the one with the worst dubbing.
Hmm.
It's finally you, Kaneda.
Uh-oh.
It's that version,
Yep.
not the Kaneda Tetsuo. Where the hell is the freaking baby room? Well, what are you gonna do now, huh, Canada? What are you gonna do now? Cause Tessa, why don't we fight like men with our bare hands? Our bare hands! You're always pushing me around, Canada. Well, why don't you go on down here, you jackass? Show me you're a tough guy. Huh? What's this light?
Still love that bit
Hey,
too.
man, yeah, I love it too. But save it for the manga studies and eventually the anime spotlight on the movie.
Oh man, how are we gonna bounce this shit out? Because there's a lot of anime I want to talk about too, and I don't want to bombard Leia with too much stuff to keep track of.
We're easing her into Eastern storytelling, man.
I know, but
Let's
at some
start.
point
But
we gotta tackle Habana Renmei, Ibane Renmei, the one I was telling you guys about, the slice of life angel anime.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
I remember.
That
We'll get
and finally, Last Exile.
look, man.
Finally, and at long
We'll
last, we're
get
finally
there.
getting to Last Exile.
We'll get there when we get there. It's not the destination; it's the journey.
Of course. Uh, Renmei and Last Exile. I think we're gonna probably just do that as a fall anime. Hopefully,
That
we'll
might.
get some guests on here too. If you guys are interested in tackling this stuff as well with us, I'll give you guys a schedule, and you guys tell me when it's best for you guys, so you guys can arrive here as a guest. You know, it's just there's a lot of anime fans here in the chat. I mean, you guys got mics. I know most of you guys, so I don't know why y'all acting shy now.
So come on and join us.
Hey, you could never been no worse than me earlier in the first years of Wolf Commander Rambles when it was just me, Owen Lister, and later on these nutballs right here.
Nutballs.
None
Like,
taken.
yep. I mean, you guys are part of the UN Spacey Wolf Fleet. At some point, you guys have to have at least a spot here, like Neo, Draco,
I'm saying
Hell, even
don't be intimidated because we're here. We're here to help you up. We're here to light a candle rather than curse your darkness.
one is I'm gonna contact Unqualified, see if what yeah. I'm gonna contact Unqualified because he might be open to tackle perfect blue with us.
Well, there you go.
And then next year
Ah,
Yeah, maybe.
we'll also tackle some topical stuff as well when they arrive. When they arrive.
I love Neostar's little comment right here. Oh, Canada, our home and native lad, with a big ass who wields a mighty laser and fires indiscriminately. I love that. First off, I'm going to say it. I love that laser.
Yep, me
Fire
too.
the
Go ahead, Dominic. What are you
laser.
gonna say?
Oh, oh,
Negro is your name,
what I was gonna.
Dominic?
Oh, come on. He's gonna go. Dominic is going to get his thoughts together.
Well, no. Oh no. I told my I made myself quiet so Wolf can like speak. So because every time I say something he interrupts and so I stop. So like as a courteous and respectful member of the team.
Thank
Because
you.
Sorry about that.
We appreciate.
the guy loves to ramble and speak his mind.
I'm really sorry about that, everybody.
That's
No, that's
okay.
okay. At least,
Don't worry about
at
it.
least,
You just like speaking your mind, and we just let you let's hear. Let's hear it. We never know when you're going to break into song.
right. We give you the time to speak your mind, and when you are inspired to sing. And Dominic was just showing you a little respect and courtesy, and we appreciate that, Dominic.
And my parents raised me to be a gentleman and how to be a respectful, decent human being.
Well, thank God there are still gentlemen and decent human beings out there, and gentlemen. We need more of them to come back. I don't care what you say. Women like gentlemen. We
Um,
do.
Not to mention chivalry isn't
go
dead.
ahead.
You were saying,
Go
Wolf?
go ahead and explain. Continue what you were about to say.
Well, what I was saying is not as regard as you will eventually contact on qualified. He can not only like join us in a discussion with Perfect Blue, but he might also be interested in the manga studies when it eventually makes its major comeback.
Remember, we're doing Akira. That'll be our comeback
Well,
for each month. We'll be
well, and that's fine. Fine. I'm saying, like he actually covered Akira in on his channel, so no, it wouldn't hurt to reach out to him and see if he's interested in having a discussion with each volume of the series like with us.
Wolf, I can't hear you. Are you
Wolf,
speaking?
can you speak? We cannot hear you.
Yes, Wolf.
check testing testing check.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
We
can
he's
can
hear
hear you
back.
now.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh motherfucker!
But a minute there, you disappeared. Well,
Whole time,
I'll say
whole time my mic wasn't even working. Well, not necessarily working. I didn't switch mics.
oh, okay. All right.
So from January to June, no, July was
Are
July.
you going to do a Pacific Day, or both days going to be your manga discussion?
No, we're gonna pick a day within a month, and it's mostly a
Okay.
Tuesday. I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna try to give you guys enough time to read a whole volume because those volumes are thick. Especially the sixth volume, the fifth and sixth volume are the thickest, if I recall.
Those, yeah. I
And
think
you're not
that's what.
wrong. Oh, they are
Nope.
very thick.
Oh yeah.
So,
Not berserk thick, but thick nonetheless.
hmm so by January, I guess I would say before the end of January, we'll tackle the first volume,
Excellent.
and during that, we'll probably tackle Perfect Blue. Well, in fact, here's what we'll do with Perfect Blue and Paprika. We'll talk about those side by side.
Ooh, double feature.
Yeah, and you better watch them, Leia.
I will put forth an effort, Wolf.
It's a new year. You better not have no speed bumps.
I will put forth an effort, Wolf. Manga, be truthful, no offense to all of you. It is not a huge passion of mine. I am a normie to it, but I will put forth some effort to view
Hey,
them.
as a normie, I'm actually trying to introduce you to some stuff that normies would have watched.
So I will put forth an effort. Put forth an
Just
effort.
saying, like at some point, you going to share your thoughts on certain things. At least you did watch Summer Wars, eventually.
Yes, I did. I did. I
Cause
did. I did
Summer
get
Wars
to
was a
it.
great movie.
I agree.
And I admitted that I liked it. So it does, like I said, it takes a while.
hey, like or don't, as long as you watched it, that's fine. I don't expect you to like it or dislike it specifically. Like you are what you are, and what you seek. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Next time you don't watch it, I'm sending major pain.
Oh.
But
Well, at
I
least
am
I know I can
two
speak.
seconds from being on you like white on rice in a glass of milk on a paper plate in a soul storm. I'm gonna put my foot so far up your ass, the water on my knee will quench your thirst.
Well, I didn't know I was being threatened to watch it, but okay. A suggestion would have been fine, but if it's a matter of life and death, I, I was just about to say, at least I'm glad to know I can be honest about my reactions to it when I watch it. But if it's a matter of life and
Of
death to
course.
you, it's a matter of life and death to you.
See,
Instead of being
now
honest,
what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Oh
Do
no,
not attempt to challenge my authority. I
that's
have 8 weeks to turn you gaga maggots into a well-disciplined cadet unit. From this day forward, your sorry asses belong to me. You will not eat, sleep, drink, blow your nose, or even dig in your butts without my saying so. Now this killing is my business, ladies, and business is good.
well. I thought we were all a family here, but I see, I see that watching the manga is a matter of life and death. So I will see what I can. But you asked me to be
I'm the
honest.
wolf commander. I have to bring out the commander.
I
I,
suppose so.
it's time to take you guys back to boot camp. There's been a total lack of discipline in this unit here. Leia, Leia,
I'm listening.
I'm looking at you.
Well,
I'm
I don't
just
think it's a
saying.
lack
Every
of.
time I ask, have you guys watched this? You're the one who says no.
Well. Here's one. You're honest. I won't deny that. I'll owe up to myself. I'll owe up to it. Like I said, trying to build things up. And I will admit it. I will admit it. It has never been a passion of mine. And sometimes when I don't have a passion for something, I might not be as enthused
You're
as
a busy
those that
woman.
are fans.
There are times I overlook it, but damn it,
You
it's making
really
it's
don't.
making it's making my authority weak, letting you having all these slides.
Well, it's not undermining your authority. It's just
I'm
life
messing
sort
with
of
you.
gets in the way. I know.
I'm messing with you.
And you want me to be. You said you are want me to be honest.
I know.
Okay.
If the
But
professor can watch an anime at least one day out of a week, so can you.
well,
Just saying.
I
You
watched the
watching
summer
your
one.
Steve. You watching your Steve. You can watch some Perfect Blue or some Paprika. You can. In fact, you don't even have to just watch it intently. Just watch enough to take some notes.
Watch enough to take some notes.
At least do that for me.
If I do that for you, I got to get you back into Outlander.
One day. One day. We'll
One
see.
day.
I watched
Okay.
2 episodes of new Star Lost in Space of the second season.
And what did you
So
think?
so far so good. I know a lot of people want to write off as being woke nonsense. I will say it was before the woke nonsense started creeping in every show. That show was fine. That show is
Yeah,
still fine. I think a lot of loyal fans don't like is the fact that the Smith dynamic has been flipped this time
yeah.
since she's a woman now.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how Smith was always in conflict with the dad.
Yeah.
Can't,
Hmm.
can't for the life of me remember his name.
I
Jesus.
have to be honest. I kind of like the old Dr. Smith. He was just more entertaining. I have to confess that.
The lady who plays Smith in here, she's doing a really good job making me
Yeah,
hate her.
she was fighting an uphill battle.
But she made me hate her, and that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good thing. The thing is, what I mean by they flipped the dynamic, now it's the mother against Smith.
I I don't know.
Yeah, I know that's a cause of confliction there. I'm a little conflicted about that too.
It's just basically yeah, it's just basically you just switch the genders. Is there really then what new are you bringing to the table?
You switch the genders, obviously it's going to be some catty banter now.
Yeah, it's catty banter.
But the one thing that's messing me up about the show, they had just went to the place where the robot came from,
Mm-hmm.
and now suddenly they're on this desolate planet and they have to get off, which they
Yeah.
eventually do. But I was like, wasn't the robots about to come after your asses?
Yeah.
That part messed me up a bit. I'm like, y'all didn't want to go, y'all didn't want to commit. Okay, okay.
I watched it a few seasons and then I kind of fell out of it. It just didn't work with me. Guilty as charged.
No, that's fine. The the,
It
the good.
see for me there was only one Lost in Space, and that was the original Lost in Space. I mean,
Well,
I
here's the
love the
thing.
cartoonish villainy of Dr. Smith.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing I
that's what
like.
I miss.
Here's the thing I like about the show. Yes, she's cartoony villainy. She's cartoon. She's cartoonishly evil. But it's not like suddenly we're starting to feel sorry for her. Now she did nothing wrong because she's a woman. She's actually allowed to be a villain, and nobody trusts her. And what's even better, the women are allowed to make mistakes.
Well, that's good.
Even the
Yes,
Ju-
I'll agree with that.
even the was it Penny? Who's the other
Penny.
sister again?
She was what are you talking about? The older sister or the younger one?
Older. Name. I
Oh,
know which one is it. I just need to know
Judy.
the name.
Oh,
Yeah,
Judy.
Judy.
yeah. Despite Judy being a black woman, it's not really affecting the story, and it's not geared towards her character either. But like when she tries things and she doesn't go off being a know-it-all. She
she believes and commits to what she wants to do. Yes, but she doesn't go all pretentiousness or she talks over people or anything like that. And she's allowed to fail.
Well, that's
For,
good.
yeah, hell, even the first season she almost died, and she was racked with PTSD. Even though they unfortunately they don't really swing back to that because that stuff does not leave you.
No.
But I'll tell you guys more about it some other time. I did a rewatch of the first season before the second season came in, and I didn't even come back to the second season because the wife lost interest too, and it's hard. And I'm trying my best to get her back into it until she had to watch it before me.
And she told you everything, huh?
No,
She
she didn't tell
spoiled
me
it for
everything.
you?
She
Oh,
didn't spoil
okay.
it for me. This is the fact that she kept on watching the second season all the way up to episode 7, and I'm like, even worse, she skipped it, and I'm like, oh no 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 no. It's bad enough that you're watching without me, but you are also skipping it like you do your damn Korean dramas. That is completely unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
You are losing your attention span.
Humble Mar.
So it's one of
This
these
is
days,
anime.
if we're gonna sit down and watch something together, I'm gonna get rid of my laptop and I'm gonna get rid of her phone
Oh.
because it's
Oh.
getting on my nerves how she's literally just skipping through stuff and not actually watch it, and all the while she's looking at her phone. Social media is killing our attention span.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
I would
That's a
agree with
fact check
that.
truth right there.
Yes, I would
That's a
agree.
fact check truth.
We'll see. When I'm watching a movie I'm really invested in, I'm watching the movie. I mean, if it's something I really want to see, I am there. I am focused. I am
Hmm.
there. If I'm in a theater, my phone is turned off. My tablet is turned off until the very end. If I want to say something, I'll wait to it. But my mind is focused there. But I do agree with you that social media has kind of eaten away at our attention span brain cells. I've been
Oh
trying
yeah.
to get out of that. Like if it's a movie that I really love to watch, I'm not going to turn my phone on unless my family's watching it at the same time. Like I said, my whole family loved Walking Dead, so we would all call each other at the same time or watching the show. So we're guilty about that, but my family can't help it. They like to talk through everything. But any other time, I do focus on the movie, and then I leave the social media to later. Because it is zapping our focus, brain cells. I do agree with that. So I try to focus on the film, which is why I don't watch anything on my phone when I'm on the bus. I don't watch movies. I see people watching movies or something on their phone when they're riding on the bus. I'm like, no, I can't focus on the movie while I'm riding on the bus. I want to come home, put my feet up in front of my TV, and focus on that movie then. There's a lot of that. So you're right about that.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, except my family, like when Walking Dead was on, everybody in my family loved that show, and we would all call each other. So I'm guilty of that part, but they didn't care. They would call and say, "Did you see that? Did it just happen? Did you see it? Didn't I tell you that? See what just happened? Did you call it? What'd you think of that? Oh, I knew that was gonna. Yeah, I get that." But I would block out everybody else. I'm serious. I had a voice message on my phone on Sunday night saying, "I am watching The Walking Dead. Can you leave a message and I'll get back with you the next day?" that's what that's what I had. Because my family, when we're all together, that's just the way we watch them. Even when we're watching MCU movies, good Lord and mercy, whoo, because that's how we saw them. We'd all go together. You didn't want all us in the movie theater, or even at home.
Maybe humble
Mm-mm.
saying that for you, Lev. She's probably suggesting that if we get a beefcake animation, then you'll watch
Okay.
it.
Oh, you
I
guys
got
just
just
love
the
to rip
one.
into me.
I
You
got
love
just
to
the
rip into
one.
me. Marty, you gave him an idea. I knew
I
you
got
would. Oh,
just the
humble Marty, you
one.
gave him an idea.
Fist of the North
You
Star.
gave him an idea, Marty. You gave him an
Oh my
idea.
goodness. Fist of the North Star.
Okay, listen, guys.
Uh,
Now,
uh,
okay, you could get me about the beefcake, but come on, fellas, admit it. When you're watching your anime or Marvel, anything else, you know you're checking out the hot women and you enjoy it. Am I correct? Come
no
on.
shit.
I will not
I mean,
apologize.
but when we women say
I'm looking more of
Excuse
the
me.
women's interiority besides the superficial traits.
Are you saying that with your fingers crossed, Dominic? We can't see you.
No. My fingers are
okay.
My fingers aren't even crossed to begin with. I'm just telling you like it is. Honestly.
Okay, I believe you. But it seems to me when we women want to see our heroes or actors, whatever, with a little muscles and shirts off and all greased up, we get flack. But I hear fellas all the time talk about how beautiful this one is or hot this one is. And it doesn't bother me because it's natural. But when it comes to it's natural. So I don't get bothered. I'm just letting you know, even if you did, Dominic, it wouldn't bother me because it's natural. Because I know when the hot guys come around, I'm going to be doing the same thing because we would like to look at hot, beefy guys. So I'm like Schooner. I'm not going to apologize for that either.
It's like eye candy. No, eye candy is equal opportunity.
Yes. Some women may complain. I don't bash the guys when they do because it's natural, so it doesn't bother me at all. You guys can go and fawn and drool all you like. It's just natural. It's understandable. Whatever it is you're looking at, where you're looking at the manga. And in some countries, when they are drawing, was it manga or it's Marvel DC Comics, they accentuate the female form. Because what's getting me is I'm getting tired of all these women looking like men. I don't know if you guys. That's what I.
You're not the only one, Leah. Both men and women are getting sick and tired of how both of the sexes are being portrayed like in fiction.
Whatever happened to accentuating the female form? I mean, there's beauty.
Or even giving us a hyper idealized form. It's not even supposed to be. I mean, it's not made to be attainable. It's made to look appealing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, like this total disastrous insulting flop, Strange New Worlds, the one that flopped at the box office by Barb. The animation is atrocious. I was just about to tell you, Wolf, the picture you just brought up. Okay, you're really smart. One? No, the one when we were talking about this anime, about this Christmas movie we just
Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah. The anime, the picture of the anime we were discussing tonight. I'm still the anime we were discussing. The anime we were discussing tonight, those characters are well drawn than that crap that is Strange New Worlds, whatever it's called. That animation is so bad and horrible. And the problem is that the women characters are drawn like men. They have a character in there that's a female, but it's like she's muscled. There's nothing that says she's a woman. And I don't understand that. It's not just there, even on the streets or where I work. Women just don't look like women anymore. It's...
You know what they're trying to do? They're basically trying to. Well, it's the sad truth. The sad fact right now is that they're basically telling women to be everything else except be a woman.
Yes, I mean,
they want them to downplay their femininity, which
not just downplay their femininity. They basically want good. They basically want them now. I mean, especially the way women are being designed in comic books. They're designed now to almost have an androgynous appearance.
Excuse?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but not every woman and man has an androgynous appearance. That is an exception, not the rule.
Exactly. I
Why
mean,
you
I feel
want
like I'm
it?
the only
Why
one at my
you want
job.
the world to
like
look like that? Just the whole complete world to look like that.
even if
Yeah.
even if a care even if a person like fiction and real life has an androgynous appearance, they still possess masculine or feminine qualities. Which, well,
Yeah.
once again, it's an exception, not the rule.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you look at, I'm trying to give examples, but you guys could think of 1,000 examples. When you look
Well,
at, Wonder Woman or Wanda
or
in the
or
comics, or,
or Power
you know,
or Power Girl of DC Comics. She's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, she is
mhm.
beautiful. She's beautiful. However, that has a bonus. Like what really attracts people is her personality. She's brash, a tomboy, but she is still very feminine.
Well, and
Agreed.
that's agreed, and that's kind of become a bit of a problem with the modern age now. Is that the tomboy is now suddenly seen as the queer-coded lesbian?
which which for as long as anybody can remember, that has never been the case.
No.
Even for even boys or men who may act effeminate, they are still men. Yeah, because they may do things that is typically associated with girls.
I
But
heard Leia likes her
but
meat
that doesn't
tenderized.
Oh,
that doesn't
wolf.
it does not mean it does not make them any less of a man. Yeah, because like they are capable of kicking your butt if they want to.
Well, and that's
Yeah, but
another thing. Yeah, go ahead, Leah. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, yeah, but see, here's the thing. They can still whip butt and kick the guy in the nuts through the window, but they don't lose their femininity. They still keep their femininity. When I think of, I think of Wonder Woman, or I think of Batgirl, and I'm talking about the Batgirl back in Adam West days. That the
Yeah.
Batgirl there, yeah, she is
Barbara
still a
Gordon.
crime fighter. Yeah, Barbara Gordon. Well, as a kid, I grew up watching her, and me and my sister used to have to watch her because she didn't sacrifice her femininity still to be a fighter. Oh, well, you guys see, if
Precisely.
she still looked feminine, but she still could handle herself. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's what I don't see.
Exactly. Is that she didn't sacrifice her femininity. That's basically what they're trying to do now with women today, is they're saying be anything but a woman, and not only that, we need you to basically shed your femininity, and ba- basically they're basically telling women that they need to be a man. You need to shed your femininity and start acting and behaving in a man, like a man. And not only that, I'm noticing a lot more in movies now and TV shows. A masculine character can't say anything. I mean, without a woman clapping back at him and quote unquote putting him in his place.
I'm noticing
Well,
that too,
well,
Scooney.
that's a good thing we have. That's a good thing we have shows like Cobra Kai and say no, that's bullcrap.
Quiet.
But Scooney, what I'm
No,
saying is, I
Johnny
agree with
and
Scooney
Jeremy,
and
like
Dominic.
they
Men, it's like they're pushing down the masculinity of a man. It's like the men are more feminized and silly and stupid and almost. I'm trying to think of this movie that I just saw. Like I just on Netflix, I watched this movie called Troll that everybody on YouTube was praising and liked and talked
We'll
about.
talk more about that some
But
other time. Let's start wrapping it up.
But I
okay,
agree with
I'll
but I
save it.
agree with what you're saying, Leia. It's
Mhm.
that it seems like that the male characters have to be put down. The female characters have to act more like male-like characters, and they both sides really just come off as really unlikable people.
And that's the problem I'm having. I'm seeing a lot of movies where I do not like the characters, male or female. I do not like the kids. Women like masculinity. Do not buy into that garbage. We want masculine men to take charge and be strong. And that's what I want to see. I'm not seeing that. Probably why I don't like a lot of characters right now.
Well, speaking just to circle back and get us back on the topic right now, this character of Jin and even the character of Jin in um, Tokyo Godfathers is that while he's got problems, he's not one of those toxic males. He's a male character who clearly has made mistakes, but he's able to come face to face with his mistakes and he comes out a better person from it.
And that's a
And
lesson for everybody.
yeah, and
Go
the
ahead.
character of Miyuki is that, yeah, she's got a tomboyish nature to her, but she's not, afraid of her femininity either. I mean, there is a moment in the movie, though, where Hana does make fun of Miyuki and her femininity, basically calling her flat-chested.
Oh.
And
I remember that.
she calls her flat-chested, and Miyuki takes great offense to that, and then shouts back at Hana like saying, "Well, at least one day I will have boobs. You will never grow boobs." And Hana's like, "You bitch!"
I will say this animation is much better than what I'm seeing now from Disney. This is much more colorful and expressive. And
Yep.
even though the character is one of the characters is trans, still I can define who is who. So
Yeah.
I will give that 1,001 credit.
That being said, I thank everybody for being here. Those 5, 6, 7, whichever ones that are popping in and out, and those knives are motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. I thank everybody for bearing with us. I know you guys are still swamped for the holidays right now. Hopefully you guys got all your Christmas shopping done before Black Friday hits in. Thank you for joining us and talking about this wholesome movie. I'd like to thank my compadres, Schooner Tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground, but has excellent Wi-Fi. This is Schooner Tuna. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you liked what we covered tonight, let us know down in the comments what you would like us to cover in the near future. And until then, this is Schooner Tuna signing off. Bloop, 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 bloop.
The lovely Leia Valor, our pioneer into this world. Leia plus size.
Good evening, everyone. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor. And you know what? I learned a lot tonight. I want to thank the Wolf Squadron for introducing me to this anime. I will get a chance to check this out for myself. And I enjoyed this discussion. So I am open to new ideas in films or cartoons that maybe perhaps I've never tried before. But as Kuni said, if you have any comments or suggestions on anything you would like for us to cover, please leave them in those comments below. Wolf will pretty much appreciate it. And until then, have a good evening, and I'll see you next time.
The Hound of the South, Donick Powell.
And thank you everybody for joining us in tonight's live stream. If you want to share your own thoughts about Tokyo Godfathers, make sure you put them down in the comment section down below. And if you have and want for us to talk about anything like movies, TV shows, video games, or anything else like on Tuesdays or Thursdays, like do the same thing. This is how the South Donick Powell signing off. And remember, even though things get dark, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's important to keep that light going and make it strong through our own lights.
We already got 2 extra people suggesting things now. Thank you everybody for joining us and suggesting anything. Let anybody in your ilk know about my community tab about the manga studies. But once again, before we even start tackling those manga that you are suggesting to us, we will be tackling all 6 volumes of Akira, and maybe, just maybe, long down the road, the ones that you suggested, we'll pick them up. And if nothing else, go see your family, no matter where you guys are standing in this whole political climate. In fact, don't even bother with the politics. Just visit family if you can. Talk to people, call them up, whatever you gotta do. If nothing else.
Keep with the spirit of Christmas.
Yes, and Merry Christmas to you all. In case you don't hear from me, Merry Christmas to you all.
And to all, a good night.
Spain, welcome at Wolf 10. Remind you guys once again that you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
Are you crazy?